You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR-LP, Round Lake Heights, Illinois.
Welcome to the Dave Mierswa Show, the cutting-edge talk show about legal, political, and current issues. Practicing in both Wisconsin and Illinois, David Mierswa is a leading trial attorney bringing nearly 2 decades of business law, family law, personal injury, and estate planning experience to you. The Dave Mierswa Show, about the people, for the people, and bringing justice to the people. The Dave Mierswa Show, its guests, agents, and WRLR are not rendering any legal advice. All listeners are encouraged to seek legal advice from properly licensed and qualified professionals.
Good afternoon. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Sunday. It is 12 noon. Another week has passed since the last Dave Mierswa show. I am your host, Attorney Dave Mierswa. I've been an attorney for almost 20 years. Welcome to my show. This show is a leading, cutting-edge show on social, political, and legal issues. This show is about the people, for the people, and bringing justice to the people. Let me say that again. The show about the people, for the people, and bringing justice to the people. My mission is to bring you cutting-edge topics that a lot of people are afraid to talk about in public, let alone on the radio. Okay, folks, I once again had a very busy week. I was supposed to go to the NRA convention this last week, and I got curtailed. Unfortunately, my mom fell not only once, she fell twice. She's 84 years old, and all week long, a big thank you to my wife, who is listening to this show, as she always does, my biggest fan, my only fan. But a big thank you to her. I've spent a lot of hours this week on the phone, burning up the phone lines, making sure that my mom got the proper care. So not only did she fall once, she fell twice in the same 24-hour period. And a month ago, we just got her life alert. So she was able to use that. And I swear it was just like the commercial. She fell and she told the attendant that she couldn't get up. It was just like the commercial. But, the technology today is just amazing. And so I got a phone call, we got a life alert and all that, and then transported to the hospital and all that. The good news, folks, is that she's going to be okay. And she's got a couple of weeks of rehab, and then she should be able to get back home. So it was a long week. And yesterday I got up at 4 a.m., drove up to Wisconsin, and spent the morning taking care of her. My wife was able to drive, so I was able to get some work done on the way up. So it's been a long week. So truly a big thank you to my wife for hanging in there and putting up with my family all these years. I know it's not easy, babe, but a big thank you. And we're going to probably do that again next Saturday. So anyway, I didn't make it to the NRA convention this week, unfortunately, but I still was able to upload some really awesome audio clips. So if you haven't guessed it, today I'm going to be going over the NRA and the highlights from the ILA, the NRA ILA Leadership Conference that took place, I believe, on last Friday. So I got a couple of public service announcements here. Let me get this stuff out of the way, and then I'm going to jump right into the show, because once again, this hour burns so quickly, and I got too much information as usual. So this show is live every Sunday, 12 noon until 1 p.m. Every Sunday, 12 noon. This show is live, folks. This is not some pre-canned commercial that you hear on other radio stations, okay? So this is a live show. All right, I want to give a shout out here to Reach Rescue, as I do every Sunday at the beginning of my show. They are a non-kill animal shelter, non-for-profit, and they're located in Mundelein. Reach Rescue. They have a rescue adoption center right next door to a resale shop. So stop in there. Again, that's Reach Rescue out of Mundelein. And Folks, if you feel that you want to go out shopping and you want to buy some more stuff, stop in Reach Rescue, Save an Animal, stop in Reach Rescue. Also, in Gray's Lake, there is Save a Pet. Again, I've dedicated my life to giving voices to people and animals that don't have a voice in this world. And I certainly have a loud voice. And I'm going to use it on proper missions. And one of my missions in my life is to give voices to animals, to save them, and to get them into their forever homes. That's forever. You get it? Okay, Save a Pet, located in Gray's Lake. Stop out there, folks. And if you're looking at adopting animals, also May 28th, which I believe is next Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., WRLR will be doing a live broadcast. This is 6, I'm assuming that's 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. WRLR will be doing a live broadcast from Classic Car Night from Dog and Suds, located in Ingleside. Come and see antique cars, meet WRLR crew, hear music, plenty of food, and have a great time. Also, meet the host, Paul LePeck, and the wild dude, Mark Shanahan. I've met this guy. He is one wild dude. All right, due to the limited seating there, bring your own seats. That's May 28th. That's my birthday next Saturday. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there. I'm going to be going up to Wisconsin again to check on my mom and so forth, so I won't be able to be there. Also, John Marshall Law School has a fair housing rights clinic, and if you think that you've been denied or treated unfairly due to race, color, national origin, religion, sex, etc., John Marshall Law School Fair Housing Clinic may be able to help you. For information, call 312-786-2267, 312-786-2267, or email them at fairhousingclinic@jmls.edu. fairhousingclinic@jmls.edu. I believe that this would be a free clinic, so they put law students in there, supervised by attorneys. And if you haven't guessed it, John Marshall is a very good law school. I know that because my wife attended John Marshall Law School. Okay, let's get into my show today. Again, I just got too much information and I don't want to waste time here. This show is about you folks, not about me babbling here. So, my first audio clip here is the 2016 GOPs that were presented at the NRA conference. So let me load up my first audio clip here. And this is from Fox News. Imagine that, me having an audio clip from Fox News.
Meanwhile, Republicans aren't letting the grass grow under their feet. A host of presidential hopefuls visiting the NRA convention in Nashville, giving them a chance to show support for the Second Amendment and rally up the base. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron joining us now.
Okay, that audio clip was from last year. Okay, I caught it. I thought it said 2016 GOP hopefuls, but yeah, that was from last spring, and 2015 we were in Nashville. This one was held in Louisville, Kentucky. So that's an old clip. Let me move on to my next audio clip here, and let me talk about the NRA convention and what that's like. I've been to 3 or 4 NRA conventions, and I always block out time to go. And the last one last year, I think it was May or June. It's always May or June, and it was in Nashville, Tennessee. And there are literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that come together to celebrate our Second Amendment rights. And a lot of people think that the NRA is just about the First Amendment rights. They are also about the First Amendment. It seems that there are a lot of local, state, and also federal agencies. And I'm not just talking about the presidency. I'm talking about a lot of agencies that don't want to hear sometimes your message. And they may think, oh, some people may be offended. And this PC culture has run amok. And, I'm not going to get into what happened a couple weeks ago with the president, with the transgender and all that. I mean, that's not on point here. But the NRA also protects the First Amendment rights as well over dominantly the Second Amendment rights. And for those of you that don't know who or what the Second Amendment is, the Second Amendment is the right to keep and bear arms, and then also implicitly in that is the right to protect you, your loved ones, and third parties from harm. Okay? That is implicit upon the Second Amendment. The NRA has taken challenge to the Obama administration. They have lined up against Hillary. And for those of you listeners that don't know Hillary's position, she wants to take Obama's Second Amendment position, which is actually, it's not a Second Amendment position, it is anti-constitutional, anti-Second Amendment stance. And Obama, and you can look this stuff up, folks. I always do my research. I always try to give you facts. And when I'm wrong, I will admit it and I will correct the record. Okay, I try to bring a lot of dignity to the show, and I try to bring honesty and integrity to the show. Okay, so in Australia, starting in the 90s, there was a shooting there. There was a mass shooting. And in Australia, they confiscated all or most semi-automatic weapons, and they put on all of these conditions to keep a firearm in your home. So basically, that a person that owns a home or renting cannot protect their family in their own home, let alone on the street. Okay, the NRA has been combating the agenda of the Obama administration, also George Soros, on taking anti-Second Amendments. Now, you can go to YouTube. I love YouTube. That's where I get most of my audio clips from. But on YouTube, you can Google Hillary Clinton and Second Amendment stance, and you'll see where she stands. She wants to have Australian type of gun control put here in the United States. Make no bones about it. She wants to go for Australian type confiscation. I do not trust her. I do not believe her. And I'm going to move on, okay, because I want to play these audio clips. But for those of you that are on the sidelines and you don't think that your right to defend your family or not are in jeopardy, you better wake up, folks. You better wake up. The NRA protects our Second Amendment rights, and it also protects our liberties under the Constitution, okay? I didn't want to get into the speech, but obviously I got a little bit into the goals behind Hillary Clinton when it comes to Second Amendment. Now, at the NRA convention, you can carry a weapon in there. There are tens of thousands of people that come into that convention, and there's never a problem. And guess what's the safest city in the world? In the world during that weekend, the NRA is in that city. That's right. Whatever city that the NRA goes in, because of conceal and carry, it is the safest city in the world. And folks, there are families there. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of children there. There are elderly. There are veterans. And these are all of the earth type Americans that are out there. Okay, there's Latino, there's Black, there's Asian, there's white, Caucasian, there's the female, male, whatever genre you want to classify someone, they're all there. And let me tell you, at the convention, these people are the nicest people, and they're patient. They are the nicest people. They bring in a lot of money. Their kids are there. And it's none of this outlandish where the left tries to portray Second Amendment people as being out of touch and, we're trying to start something. I'm like, well, no. We're trying to protect our civil liberties, and we're trying to exercise our right under the Constitution, and hundreds of thousands of people bring into the economy, and there's never an incident. And the crime rate literally goes to zero, because all the criminals know that the fair majority are carrying conceal and carry. Most criminals are, they're not that smart, but they're smart enough to know you ain't gonna mess with a population that's armed in that weekend. So, all right, at the 2016 conference, there was a Benghazi veteran that spoke, and I listened to this audio clip. This is so powerful, and this is an audio clip coming from Patriot Populist from YouTube. Okay, so I give credit to them. Again, this is a Benghazi veteran who survived the attack, apparently, and is telling his version of the facts. Not the spin that Hillary has put on this, not the cover-up that she has put on this. And she wants to just wash this away. It's not going to wash away. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
Please turn your attention to the screens.
I know the truth about Benghazi. I was there, fighting alongside 5 Americans who were all raised to believe that if you have a chance to save someone's life and you don't try, that's more criminal than anything else. So we fought for 13 hours and we saved lives. But we are not unique. We are no different than the Americans who ran back into those crumbling New York towers, or the Americans who tackled the armed terrorists on that French train, or the many faceless, nameless Americans who every day risk their lives for perfect strangers, trapped in burning cars or dangerous waters. Because if they didn't, no one would. Where was that courage among the politicians who had the power to make a difference during those 13 hours in Benghazi? I am the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
That story's written in a book that's also become a major motion picture. 13 hours, the inside account of what really happened in Benghazi. Every American needs to read it and then see it. Friends, the word hero gets thrown around a lot these days, but I'm proud to introduce 2. Please join me in welcoming Mark Oz Geis and John Tig Teagan.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's America's safest place? NRA is America's safest place. Thank you all. Thank you. You know, we've heard a lot of talk about the people who are qualified or not qualified to be president. Hillary had said something about her qualifications. Well, we've been on the side of the decisions that she makes or doesn't make. You know, because of that, we lost 2 close friends. We had to bring them home draped in caskets because of the decisions she makes. Is that who we want for president? I don't think so. We're a country that fought before in 1775 to overcome someone who didn't want to abide by the rule of law. And we have to do that again now, because she thinks she's above the law. She thinks that the law doesn't apply to her, and she doesn't want to abide by that.
I guess I get to talk. Kind of give you a rundown if you guys don't know the story of Benghazi. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys do, but 9/11/2012, the U.S. consul came under attack, and we lost one. You lost a U.S. ambassador, Sean Smith, the communications officer, and it was actually the 3rd time that consulate got attacked, and even then, all the requests for extra security, Hillary, you know, she's got her security. I guess she needed it more than they did. But so, you know, we went over there. We rescued 5 remaining State Department guys that were still alive. We repelled another assault on the consulate. Came back. You know, we had Sean Smith's body. We couldn't find the ambassador, and we had to repel 3 other attacks off of our compound. And during the whole time, you know, the administration, I guess, decided we didn't need any support, and you know, it's kind of left the military, you know, hanging dry. And even though they're ready to come, and you know, the last attack, 8 hours into it, 4 mortars got launched, killed Tyrone Woods and Glit Doherty, and injured Oz and Dave Ubin. And you know, if it wasn't actually for the local libyans, we never would have got out of Benghazi, because you know, the support, U.S. assets, was never coming. This kind of gives you a quick background, and you know, her decision making, instead of her staying up and being the leader, she went to bed. So I guess maybe we should have called her at 3 in the morning instead of 7 in the evening. And a good leader isn't scared to tell the truth, even if it's right or wrong, even if they made a bad decision, a good decision. But the fact is, to me, I just don't think they knew how to make a decision. You know, the guys are ready to go. DOD contacted and said they're spinning up, ready to go, and they got crickets. So, you know, I really don't want an incompetent leader as my president, but that's just me.
You know, we hear a lot about who we're going to vote for, who should be there. And as John said, and as we know from personal experience, we know who shouldn't be there. And we got to put our differences aside. Like that night, there was over 24 people in our compound. We weren't all of the same political beliefs, didn't all have the same ideological views or the same religious views. But when faced with a threat for our lives, we came together. We came together to overcome what was there. And we were faced with an evil that night that wanted to take our way of life. And again, I think it's not that much difference in this election, because we are faced with someone who wants to take our very way of life away from us. And we need to stand up, we need to come together, and we need to fight for that. Are we going to fight for that? Thank you very much. Thank you, NRA. Thank you for having us. Thank you, America.
Pretty interesting clip there, audio clip, that show 13 hours. There's a book out on it as well as the movie. And I have not seen the movie, and I've been contemplating buying the book, and I just haven't had a time to watch the movie or read the book. And that is definitely on my list. But, you know, you heard it from 2 veterans. You know, who are you going to believe? You're going to believe Hillary, who said when she touched down once in Bosnia, she had to duck from fire and cover. And then a video comes out of her walking away from the plane, greeting everyone. So, you know, I realize that, you know, the politicians is a breed of their own. And I'm not saying anything good or bad about Donald Trump, but we know where we stand with Hillary. Okay, we may not know everything about Trump, but we definitely know where we stand with Hillary. And this is one of the main points made. Okay, here is Chris Cox from the NRA, and I've met him several times. And he's a rising star within the NRA. And, you know, real nice guy, real nice gentleman. Here he is introducing someone. So let me play the next audio clip.
Unite, and we have to unite right now. So on behalf of the thousands of patriots in this room, and the 5 million NRA members across this country and the tens of millions of who support us, I'm officially announcing the NRA's endorsement of Donald Trump for president. Ladies and gentlemen, the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Okay, you know what my next audio clip's going to be. I got a 4-minute clip here. I'm going to sneak this in before break. So let me shut up here and get this queued up so you guys can hear it.
I've been a member for a long time, and my boys are members, and they're much better shooters than I am. I'll tell you, they know more about guns than any. I don't know, there might be 2 or 3 people in this room, but believe it or not many. So to get the endorsement, believe me, is a fantastic honor. Hillary Clinton, and you know I call her crooked Hillary because all you have to do is read any newspaper you want. But Hillary Clinton wants to abolish the Second Amendment. Just remember that. We're not talking about change it. She wants to abolish the Second Amendment. So we're not going to let that happen. I can tell you that right now. We're going to preserve it. We're going to cherish it. We're going to take care of it. So often we talk about Paris or we talk about San Bernardino, and nobody had guns. You know, Paris is probably in the world the toughest place to have a gun. The toughest. France generally, but Paris in particular. And when these thugs walked in, 130 people killed, hundreds of people still in the hospital, just horribly wounded, can never be the same, horribly wounded. And these guys came in, boom, boom, you over here, boom, and they just stood there and just shot everybody. No guns on the other side, folks. If you would have had guns on the other side, if I took a couple of these folks in here, some especially wearing the red caps, Make America Great Again, I promise there wouldn't have been 130 people killed and hundreds of people lying in the hospital to this day. It might not have happened, because if they knew there were guns in the room, it might not have happened. But if it did, you would have had bullets going in the opposite direction, and believe me, the carnage would not have been the same by any stretch of the imagination. You have San Bernardino, 14 people. They worked with these two. They worked with them. They gave them a baby shower. They had a baby. The people they worked with gave them a baby shower. They walked in, no guns on the other side. They had the guns, and they killed 14 people, many wounded, many in the hospital to this day, but they wounded many. But they killed 14 of their co-workers, and the co-workers thought they were friends. So there's something going on. Now, I tell you again, same story. If we had guns on the other side, it wouldn't have been that way. I would have, boom. If we had guns on the other side, it wouldn't have been that way. I can't stress in any stronger fashion, whoever the next president is going to appoint, from 3 to 5 judges. And if it's Hillary or whoever, assuming she's allowed to run, because you know what she did with her emails is so criminal, is so dishonest, is so shocking that she shouldn't be allowed to run, but it looks like they're going to let her run. And that's okay with me, because really I do want to run against her. I have to be honest with you. I'd like to call for Hillary Clinton to put together a list also, okay? Let her put together a list, because I'd like to see what that list consists of. And you will see, it's day and night, okay? Day and night. And it will not be good for the people in this room. And it won't be good, by the way, for the people of our country, most importantly. Americans use guns to defend themselves against violent crime more than 1 million times a year, okay? More than 1 million times a year. And they want to take them away. Heartless hypocrites like the Clintons want to take this, and they want to get rid of guns, and yet they have bodyguards that have guns. Hillary has pledged to issue new anti-gun executive orders. You know that. This is the behavior, I mean, you could say of a dictator. This is the behavior of somebody, frankly, I think, that doesn't know what she's doing. She's not equipped to be president in so many different ways.
Okay, so that was Donald Trump at the NRA convention last Friday at their annual meeting and forum there. So this was in Louisville, in Kentucky. So I got to go to break here, and some really interesting stuff in these audio clips. And make no bones about it, folks, you friends and listeners out there. 2016 is a pivotal year for the Constitution. It is definitely a year that the Second Amendment is going to be at risk, and you got to decide. You got to decide what kind of Supreme Court judges do you want on the Supreme Court. Over the next probably 4 years, there'll be at least 2 to 4 judges that are going to be nominated on the Supreme Court. And that's another aspect to think about here in 2016 in the presidential race. Okay, I'm going to cut the break and then